everybody.
Everyone, Johnny Milan and David are both here. Good to see you both.
Solid, stalwart, dependable people of the paint off.
Painting. You painting, guys, or are you at work? Or
are you just listening in for the bants, or are you applying pigment twixt model? Twixt isn't the right word, but I don't care. Sorry?
John Grant's in too, but he must be on a break or something.
And Mr. Aaron Shrive is in the house. Hello, sir.
Surely you've got 100 million things to do.
101 packages to parcel up to post out soon.
Carry a bag problems.
I missed that in the Patreon chat. I didn't know what that was all about. By the time I entered it, I thought I've missed too much of this to be able to pick up on it.
Are they reintroducing plastic bag rules after COVID restrictions were reduced? So they.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got to work out how best to include, how best to make you pay for it for online.
How best to screw people over with it. Well, not him screwing people over with it, but.
So that's not what you're trying to do.
A bit harsh. Yeah. Not screw himself over with it is more accurate, I think.
Yeah.
So who are you painting today, Robin?
I'm painting the guy whose name I've forgotten. From the Glory Seekers from Godtear.
Frank. Call him Frank.
Right, I've done a little bit more since the last. Yeah, but not very much on these guys. I've been concentrating on getting the Underworld stuff done. I finished my Seraphon in the week, and I've done 3/4 of the warband, the Stormcast warband. I've forgotten what it's called all of a sudden.
Yeah, Storm of Celestis.
Storm of Celestis, that's it.
Will they make it 7 for 7 or 6 for 6 or whatever it is in the most hated or disliked warbands?
They were down there, weren't they? Weren't they in our list? I guess.
Oh yeah, they were. Yes, you're right.
2 days though, I suppose. So you could say they had time to
really be disliked. Yeah.
But I just think people just don't like.
I find Stormcast just really dull, or at least the way they are in Underworld is really dull. It's like, oh, there's 3 of them. Of course there is. Oh, they're all shields. Of course they are.
I think that's part of them. They're very vanilla. They're not that different to each other. Several people made the point that they're actually kind of like entry level. So that if people haven't played the game, you get the game, and then you move on to the more interesting mechanics, which is a valid point about it. It's just a bit of a shame, really.
Are you using your Razer microphone, by the way?
I am. Is it not coming out very loud?
There's a bit of a fuzz when you're talking. I don't know if it's the Razer or not.
Could be the move it away. Is that?
I don't know if it's that, or it could just be the connection. It could just be Skype, to be honest.
On my laptop, which is because I'm streaming and.
Yeah, it only seems to kick in when you talk for some odd reason, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me have a look. It'll be annoying if it is the Razer because it's a new one.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. It could just be Skype, or it could just be the connection or something like that. There's a million and one things it could be. So what are people painting at home out there in the land of...
So I'll try to... Is that better?
That's a bit closer.
Okay, is that better now?
Yes.
Now? Okay, brilliant.
Super.
Because I just put it on my paint.
So what are people painting? I'm assuming that Johnny Milan's detailing something, and John Grant is John Grant's working. He said, sorry. David Henson, are you painting something today? You're usually painting. You're usually good for paint. I'm trying to get these guys done. Anybody who hasn't assembled them yet, who has the vampires to assemble, word to the wise: do not stick old Gareth to his base. You will regret it.
The one with the cloak.
Yeah. There's a big old gap down the back of it. So it's not like most people whose cloaks just cover their back. This one, he's got a massive gap. You can see right down there. And yeah. Pain in the arse. So I had to try and rip him off the base, which I just about managed to do. Just so I could paint the inside of his cloak black before I stuck him back on.
Johnny Milan's painting Fast Riders.
Fart Riders.
I have noticed that actually, Johnny, although he's got a reputation for being a bit of a Dettol addict, He hasn't been using it recently. There's been some solid paintwork coming out. First time from Johnny recently.
Which is not to say that he doesn't. It's just normally it takes him multiple attempts to get to that point.
Yeah,
but he's
exactly.
happy with it.
Yeah.
David Hedson's doing Slaanesh. John Grant's just going through his inbox at the minute. John reckons that the Stormcast need to be a varied warband, like you get a Castigator, a Sequitur, an Evocator. I don't know what any of these things mean, but it means you basically get a fighter, a shooty one, a wizard type stuff. 3 of the same is a bit dull, which I agree with.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but I don't find those terms and those fighters that interesting in themselves either. I think they perhaps need. I don't know how easy it would be. They perhaps need to work on some sort of teamwork type mechanic for them, which they sort of had a little bit in Condemners, where you could get glory for pushing fighters into the path of other fighters in your warband.
Yeah.
If they could come up with some sort of working together type thing, which may work in a group of 3 of different types, but I feel like they haven't got anything. They are just even if they're different, they're still just shoot things, hit things, or cast spells at things.
Yeah.
They're
not particularly inventive.
I mean, the Curse Breakers, I suppose, they're probably the most popular. They do have the wizard, who is a bit different. They have the magic, which makes them a bit different.
They kind of broke the mould with those, though, didn't they? That's what
Well,
we discussed before.
Well, yeah. I just wonder whether are they popular? Are they the most popular Stormcast warband because they're the best competitively, or are they the more popular? It's a relative term, but are they the most popular because they're the most interesting?
Yeah, it is worth pointing out that we're basing what is and isn't popular off of our little thing that we did a little while ago, our little questionnaire
survey, which obviously is extremely accurate and a very good measure of everything that's going on in the hobby right now.
I think so, 100%.
Obviously.
Yeah, but I think I mean that's got to highlight something, right? Because there were 250 odd responses, so there's got to be some parallels that can be drawn from one to other.
Yeah. Oh, poor Dave Henderson's vampires still haven't come. I know they had some supply issues. I think they were super duper popular.
I think depending on where you were as well, there's been other issues with. I know people abroad are having problems with Brexit. I saw people commenting on some of the chats that they're just finding that stuff's just not going to arrive anytime soon because Brexit, basically.
Brexit.
I'm going to try and avoid all political discussions because, frankly, any talk of this that's just going to make me angry. So I'm just going to try and keep it all about the hobby today. There were a lot of people all sort of going on about, are the vampires going to come back in stock? And it's like, calm down. Of course they're going to come back in stock.
They will. Like, Underworld. I'll just keep this camera. Underworld doesn't suffer that problem with Curse City. Luckily.
That's the problem. A lot of people are like, oh, but Curse City wasn't put back in stock. That was a one-off.
Yeah.
This is a warband that's part of a set where they are, constantly available for 2 years. So of course they're going to be back in stock.
Yeah.
Oh, but Bellacor's not in stock. Yeah, but he's not been removed. He's coming back as well.
Yeah. Sorry, my wife's come down. She's just gesticulating at me, so I didn't make her a cup of tea.
I think that's a fair gesticulation reasoning.
She's working. She was chatting away.
She's working or you're working?
She was working.
Oh, she was working. Always assume it's a yes.
Always assume it's a yes. I didn't want to disturb her because she was doing important stuff.
But then you should put the tea outside the door.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Like I tell the wife, always assume it's a yes.
That is my default, actually. That is my default.
She said, always assume for me it's a no. John, I said, can I avoid politics? I can try, John, I can try. I'm going to try and get some paint on these two because I have mostly finished the other two. I've done Duke. He's not Duke. He's
Duke Nukem.
He's Duke Nukem. Who remembers that? I've mostly done Count Duvet. He's not superb, but he'll do. And I've done Aeneas as well. Aeneas is done. good enough for the tabletop at least. If I get a chance, I might go back to them.
Haha, funny one.
What's that?
But you're going to go back to them.
Oh, right, yeah.
I have learned that I never go back to them.
Yeah.
So it's either good enough or do your best at the time. I will never, ever pick something up that and go back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like putting layer paints onto a base coat because I feel that that's just wasted time. So, yeah. And I think I'm an incredibly slow painter and a very inefficient painter at the same time, so I don't think that helps me. I tend to spend a lot of time faffing.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time faffing.
John Grant says he's very excited for his Aeronautica. Who cares about Aeronautica? There's crabs.
Of the Warhammer Fest reveals.
There's crabs coming. Who cares about planes? Crabs.
Aeronautica does look good. I don't know whether I'll ever play it. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to play it. If John can bring it over one day. But
John's got everything set up, so yeah, you can just bring everything along. We'll provide the area to play on.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. But the new warband, exciting stuff. I really like the models. I'm intrigued by the mechanics. I'm intrigued by this idea. I don't know very much about the lore, as we've discussed before. We're intrigued by this idea that they might inspire on the second turn and then uninspire on the third turn.
Yes, anybody who's not up on the AOS lore, they have this whole tidal thing which sort of runs in a cycle as their magical tide powers get stronger.
And then presumably win.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That would be a cool way to play the warband. And I kind of like that. You know where you are. I can see where, normally your warband gets stronger and stronger as you go through the game. Or more depleted. But the fighters you have left are normally getting stronger, but it's kind of interesting, the idea that you're actually going to be the strongest in the middle of the game.
You don't have to play for it, you just need to set yourself up. You know you're going to inspire, so you just got to get ready to go.
Exactly. Whereas you can lose traction in a game when you're trying to fulfill your inspire conditions, or if you've got ones like Blade Coven last night where you have to pick a fighter, then you can find yourself picking the wrong fighter.
Yeah, you might telegraph what you're about to do by,
or not getting the kill that you needed to do it, and just sort of falling further and further behind.
Yeah,
I do like a spy condition that kind of happens.
Reliable inspire condition. Yeah. Are there many inspire conditions that are that reliable? I guess Grim.
Blade Coven technically is, but only if you don't want to inspire on the third turn.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, people are immediately jumping on the fact that they're better than Blade Coven. It's like, well, hang on, we don't know if they uninspire or anything else that might happen. So let's not dump Blade Coven just yet. I'm gonna have to do my usual thing. I'm gonna have to Google what this model looks like so that I can actually paint it properly. So I'm like, is this flesh? Is this not flesh? I mean, I like the look of the crab. The crab looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the crab looks good. And
the fish can't move, from what I understand. The fish don't have a move token style. Whether that changes once they inspire or not, I don't know.
Maybe it gets pushed about.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe it's like a squig, but actually all the time.
Yeah, true. Okay, so this woman does not have a lot of flesh on show, which is a refreshing change for a GW female model.
But the fish opens up all sorts of exciting possibilities for painting.
Yeah.
There's going to be some great fish jobs, so to speak. Rude.
That sounds like something you'd have to pay for.
Sort of, on a par with the chameleon. I think the chameleon's one of those ones that you're going to get
some pretty wacky paint jobs.
Some cracking paint jobs. People are going to go to town on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're talking out loud, everything sounds like an innuendo.
Innuendo.
Just the words "go to town" on just sounds rude.
Yeah.
I'm just realising how much last session I missed this guy. Now I've used the wrong colour paint on him. Mind.
I'm using my new favourite paint, which is Flesh Terror Red.
Flesh Terror Red.
Really thick, dark, blood red kind of shade. It flows really nicely. That's pretty much how I painted Duke.
He does look good.
Not, I keep calling him Duke. He's not Duke, he's
because they've given him a you sounding
Count Duval.
Duke Caval.
Morris Knox says he cannot believe this is actually happening. It is at the moment, Morris. You have made it. You have made it.
It's actually happening.
Are you painting?
What is actually happening? I'm not sure, but it is happening.
I'm assuming it's just that you managed to catch one of our sessions live, but it might be that the Idoneth are coming. Maybe it's something more. We have been talking about the future of the painting because it is tricky for me to get on during my work day, and it may cause me to have to drop out of these, which will be a shame if so.
Yes, it's a shame for me certainly. I don't want to do it on my own.
I don't want to do it. It is like the only time pretty much that I have any time to do any painting. I've made very little progress on anything I started painting. I mean, the stuff we started painting last week I haven't even touched since.
Right.
Whenever I've had a few minutes to be able to do something, it's gone straight onto the vampires, pretty much.
Okay, you have been cutting videos though, I suppose.
That's the thing. The channel. If you wanna ruin your hobby, start a YouTube channel about it. Is all I've got to say. But that takes up all your time.
My painting is taken over some of the other things that I do in my spare time, and I'm struggling to fit in reviewing around painting. I thought I'd have time, but I don't. I've got a pile of books that need reviewing, and I'm just not getting close because I've got a little half hour here to spend painting at the moment. I think ultimately that's better for my state of mind, except for this pile of books that's building up.
just picking up and up and up and up. Morris Knox says, how do you approach shoulder pads when the colour of the main shoulder pad and the trim are different and have the transitions look natural? I do something else instead. Yeah.
Badly. I'm not very good with shoulder pads.
I hate big flat areas.
Yeah. Especially shoulder pads because they do kind of need that.
Zhuzh.
Yeah, and especially the ones the Stormcast ones aren't too bad because they have the extra rim, which you can do in a different colour, and then they've got a dip which you can kind of leave darker, and then you can just highlight the bit that sticks out there. But Space Marine ones, I hate. I kind of end up doing almost like just adding a tiny bit more of the lighter shade, and just keep going to the top and just adding thinner layers. But I'm not very good at it. Quite often it ends up looking like sort of something dried on it. If you know what I mean. Like a watermark.
Yeah, what are you painting, Morris? Says John Grant. What are you painting? Tell us. Show us. We must see. Potter.
I don't know what colour to do this kind of cloth on this guy.
Brown.
Well,
brown.
I was wondering whether to go red. Whether to go red. I might go red and then on that bit and then that bit a different colour maybe. He says, people not knowing what bit he's referring to when he's talking, but that's by the by.
I am very aware that I'm very intently staring at the bosom of this model and trying not to get paint in all the wrong places.
I actually probably shouldn't admit this on camera, but I do find it difficult sometimes to paint female models when they've got very tight clothes on. Like, I don't want to paint in there.
just end up in there. Very inappropriate.
Yeah.
Just end up sitting there staring at it for a while.
I've got a Night Models Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow.
Oh yeah.
And she's kind of just got a spray-on black leather suit.
I was going to say that's not going to leave a lot to the imagination, is it?
No, exactly. And to make it even more sort of weird is that she's got red hair, and my wife's got red hair. So it's like a very peculiar experience.
So what you mean is you need to you're going to go upstairs with a 4-inch brush and tell your wife that you need to practice. It's scale practicing.
Yeah. 4-inch brush.
Morris is painting yellow. Well, I always used to use the technique from possibly Nerdy Rob, which was mostly just to use lots of Cassandora yellow. Have that thinned out and then apply multiple shades out. You can really get quite a nice gradient on it in that situation.
Right. Yeah, possibly Nerdy Rob is your yellow guy. He's actually got a paint. What's that app called? I can't remember what the app's called.
Paint?
I can't remember.
Paint?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
And he, with the recipes on it, he's got all his recipes, and you can look them up. You can search for him and you find all his recipes. But what the app's called? It is called Paint something.
Maybe that's it. It's called Paint something.
Paint something. Oh, yeah, it's quite a good name for a painting inspiration app, actually, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Paint something.
Comes up with a colour. Paint something yellow. Yeah. Thanks for that. That's really helpful. I can hear the birds tweeting away. You're so wrong, or rather, is that a pigeon?
The pigeon. It's the bird, though.
Sorry?
It is still a bird, though. You said a bird, or rather a pigeon. It is a pigeon, yes. I've got the windows. Yeah, slightly open.
I didn't realise that pigeons and doves are exactly the same. The only difference is colour.
Yeah.
So you've got these doves, which everyone thinks are these romantic, beautiful-looking birds. And then you've got pigeons, which everyone universally accepts as being vermin with feathers. And the difference is just PR, it seems.
John would suggest using a red or black for the edging. I'm not sure. Was that in response to the yellow? Or? And then Maris says the challenge he has is thinks he should only paint the top of the colour black and not the side trim transitions into the yellow. Whoops, just remember, Anthony's here.
Hello, Anthony.
Ed, I don't remember what time it is where you are, but I'm sure you don't sleep enough.
Late. It's a very dull rimming count. What's his blokey? I'm just rimming the count.
I thought John Grant's edging was enough, but it was bad enough. You're rimming the count now. I see.
Black contrast, black Templar, whatever it's called. Fantastic paint for doing the rims on these things, I've found. 2 or 3 coats of this just really makes a solid, nice black.
It makes you happy.
It does.
I've been using my Vallejo black, which I actually think is pretty good. I'm settled on that as being my couple of coats of that thinned down. Seems to do the trick. I don't know what colour to do this guy's trousers now.
I think the main thing with all of these things is just making sure it's watered down enough, and I think I've always had that problem with GW, or in general painting. I've never watered them down enough, so it always ends up a bit blobby and a bit. I try and go for the one and done approach, but that doesn't work on bases because there's such a flat area.
Yeah.
It's 9:30 where Anthony is. Anthony, you're a nutter.
It's not bedtime then.
9:30 on a Friday night, though. I mean, that's like my life. It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Well, watching us on 9:30 on a Friday night.
Yeah. Not that we don't appreciate it.
No, we're not. It's great having you here.
Very well. I'm just having to repaint Velus's boobs again. I don't like having to spend a lot of time on a bit of the model that I think, if it ends up looking like I spent loads of time on that area of the model, it's going to look like I did it on purpose for some reason, if that makes sense. Because I'm not. I just want because it's quite a straight line, I want to make sure that the line is nice and neat, and not because boobs.
I don't know what colour to do this gentleman's trousers.
Brown.
Well, I'm going to do the leather brown. He's got quite a lot of leather on him. I've done his skin. Black might be the way to go, actually. That might be the way to go.
Anthony's been up since 5 a.m. He's got to do the dishes and go to bed. Sod the dishes.
If you don't do the dishes, they're waiting there for you.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I always let tomorrow Pete deal with.
That's why tomorrow Pete hates yesterday Pete so much.
Yeah. Yesterday Pete is an arsehole.
We played our final game last night on hopefully anyway on TTS. Not our final game ever.
Yes, we're done. We're done with the game.
Our final channel game, hopefully, because we're not meeting next week. Actually, I haven't checked people. We had much uptake for our suggestion of a Patreon chat along on the next Thursday evening. So we're not going to bother recording next Thursday because come the following Monday, we're going to the garage for the day.
We'll lock ourselves in and stay there.
And recording.
And Ariston. Yep.
Get back to our hopefully high quality 4K in the flesh, models moving up and down.
Always up for some models moving up and down.
I can't believe it. Our window cleaner's arrived. Oh, really?
Now your window cleaner knows you're a little weirdo.
Well, he wasn't. He doesn't quite yet. At the moment, he's only attacking with a broom. Well, not broom, a brush.
Yeah,
but he'll come around in a minute, and then he will see.
He'll be like, ah.
So not only am I painting, I'm painting with a video camera. Well, not painting with a video camera. That'd be ever so messy and very expensive.
Get a piece of paper, quickly write OnlyFans on it, and just stick it up next to you.
Does that make it better or worse?
Well, figure if you're gonna go, if you're gonna get branded as being a weirdo, might as well make it an exciting weirdo.
It's true. We talked a bit last week, didn't we, about what's acceptable, acceptable geekism and unacceptable.
Yeah. That's that whole thing of in a work environment as well. We generally don't tend to talk about these kind of things. Well, I don't. I know a lot of people have gladly accepted their nerdiness, and I know there are some people at my work who know what I do now. So, but generally don't just go around shouting out all the time. I like to paint little plastic toy soldiers.
No, it'd still be better for your street cred to come in and talk about the Champions League than last night than the Europa League last night. We talk about painting little figures.
Exactly. But I would advocate anybody out there who is unsure to shout it loud and proud.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
I would too.
Just gonna hide in my closet.
Yeah.
I don't even know if my painting is still on screen, but it's not particularly visible.
Yeah, I occasionally drift. I think I obviously want to paint slightly south of where I need to be.
Sounds about right for me. My painting going south.
Yeah. Very much so.
Anthony says that he gives zero shits. He shows people at work his toy soldiers. He's broken all the rules.
I have just painted over the bit that I just painted red because I'm a muppet. I wonder if I can fix that.
There's nothing more soul destroying and frustrating than painting one bit and then painting the next bit and getting paint on the bit you just did.
Yeah, it's partly to do with the fact I'm painting this Steamforged game model, and it doesn't have the definition of a Games Workshop model, as you discussed last week.
Yeah.
So basically, I've done, I painted it, and then realised the top bit where I was painting was actually not the bit I was painting, if that makes sense. It was actually a different part of the model. I didn't realise that. I think it's okay. I've got to highlight it again anyway. So it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be all right.
If I showed everyone at work, the kids would bully him. Do you have any? I can't remember what sort of school you teach at, John, but do you have any Warhammer fans in
Must be some
school? When I was in Games Workshop, they used to send me Brett Library books for me to review, which they soon stopped doing.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
Here's the
I,
latest piece of shite from
yeah,
Games
I used to
Workshop.
give them to my local school library because she was I knew the librarian. She was desperate for books, and she said they absolutely there was like a little hardcore group of kids who loved them and got really excited whenever one of my little boxes turned up. So they obviously that was secondary school, obviously.
I remember when I was a kid at school, and I think it was my art teacher or somebody like that. I ended up talking to him about Games Workshop. I think it
Right.
was my art teacher who sort of said that he used to do that, and it was just that. It was absolutely wonderful having an adult who could then suddenly say, "Oh yeah, I do that thing that you do." As a child, it was
As
just
long as it's not your parents.
yeah, oh yeah. Then it's immediately rubbish, and you need to throw it all away.
Yeah,
Therein lies the problem for us YouTube parents.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that we've destroyed any chance or hope of our children really getting into it.
Very much so. Very much so. My son would never ever countenance doing any of this. Himself, my oldest, so lame,
Yeah.
etc.
I guess the upside we can use this weapon for our benefit is that if they start to get into a game, you know, where
Right.
Fortnite or whatever that you don't want them to be playing anymore, you can just get into it, come in with the cap on backwards, start throwing some signs, that kind of thing, and they'll immediately drop it like it's hot.
Dave Henson used to play Judge Dredd at school at lunchtime on Wednesday. I think I did at one point as well. And we used to role play at school. Play Traveller. That's how long ago it was.
Used to what?
Play Traveller.
All right.
That's how long ago it was. People used to play Traveller and D&D. Send you some Josh Reynolds fancy. Yeah, they did send me some. Oh, so you want me to send some Josh Reynolds? Well, you can send me some, Anthony, if you want. It's always good to keep you warm in the summer, in the winter.
Throw another Josh Reynolds book on the fire, dear.
How difficult a rule set is Crusade Protocol to pick up? I don't know. I haven't played. I don't think Matt's in. Matt's played. I don't think it's that hard. Certainly to play at a basic level. And I would love to bring Crisis Protocol to the channel, as Pete knows.
I wouldn't mind either, to be honest.
It's just finding the time.
The other problem, of course, with that is the fact that we have lots of terrain and stuff from 40k and AOS and things like that, but none of it fits the scale.
It's not too bad, actually. It's not too bad, because my understanding of the game as well is that the actual its relative size of the terrain isn't that important in the sense that everything has a scale size. So things are like either scale 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, but I mean, it just ruins the.
It does, but it's not too bad. It's not too. It's a little bit. The miniatures will be a little bit big, but they're not too bad because I bought some, which actually the scale will be even bigger disparity. I bought some of the TT combat terrain to see what it was like, and actually, I'm sure people can tell that it's a bit small, but it actually, to me, to my untrained eye, it actually looks fine.
I guess there's different levels for whether you're playing it as a laugh, well, as it's meant to be, just a game. If you're playing it with friends or whatnot, or whether you're going for that immersive feel, or whether you're trying to do something for a channel. Obviously, there's a big jump between us wanting to do something for fun and bringing it to the channel.
Well, I think what I'm saying, I think it would look okay as long as I mean, the only problem with the 40k stuff is that a lot of it doesn't actually look right.
No, exactly.
With the setting, even if the scale's not right. But I think it slightly off scale would still look okay. I think, especially as the camera tends to be quite forgiving. I feel of that kind of stuff. Like that paint jobs, the when you have a miniature painted, you can't see on camera. You can't see the imperfections.
Not as much.
No, and so I think I've just used the wrong colour silver again. Never mind. Doesn't notice too much. So I think we'd be okay. That's what I'm saying. But that is a way down the line, I think, for us.
Yeah, I feel I'd like to do that, but there's a lot of other things we'd like to do too, and we've got a lot of other stuff in our backlog still.
Yeah. So I mean, when we get back in the garage, we think we're going to play obviously Underworld, and then we're going to play some Godtear.
which we
And
really
then-
need to work out how to play.
Yep, and then we need to get back on the Necromunda trail.
Necromunda. I did enjoy our Necromunda games. I knew they took ages for us to play, partly because we couldn't remember the rules and we'll have to go through all of that pain again.
Got to say, we're going to have to learn again how to play, but yes, I did enjoy them. It's nice to have a slightly less serious game to play, which I think is why I quite like to play Crisis Protocol, because I think we won't take that very seriously.
How can you take being able to play Wolverine versus Deadpool seriously? I mean, there's no way you can take that seriously.
You make a very good point.
It's just going to be at the height of silliness, but I think that'll make it even better.
Right. He's coming along, I think.
Plus, I think Marvel is like acceptable nerdy, but like Star Wars.
Yeah. I felt like they would be good.
Stuff.
That and Star Wars Legion would be a good avenue for the channel, but it's, Legion's too much. But Marvel's Crisis Protocol might be okay. It's sort of
It's a lower model count at least.
yeah, just a bit more. I think it's a bit less serious.
Yeah.
Not cheap though. It's bringing out so many models for that game.
Well, the Marvel universe is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean obviously you don't have to buy them all, but there are so many. There are so many models.
Sorry. I don't quite understand what you just said then. I mean, I understand all the individual words, but when you put them together, no, you lost me. Of course, you have to buy them all. You have to buy everything at least twice over.
It would be nice to be able to afford to buy them all and have the time to paint them all. I would love that. I would love that, but that sadly is not my reality.
Buying them all is half the hobby, though.
You know, buying them all is the easy bit.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yes. I'm trying to decide what I
All
do.
night sofa. I think manufacturing them to rain with the shipping crates would be great.
Yeah, I think those shipping crates would work quite nicely.
Yeah. He doesn't contain book burning. No, I'm not a big fan of book burning, but you know, where do in some cases is it a book, and at what point does it just become paper?
Well, it's a Black Library thing. Is it a book or is it just a collection of pages?
Just writing, not typing.
You could argue it's you don't want to burn books because you don't want to burn ideas, but are there really any ideas in Black Library?
Harsh.
Bit harsh, yeah. Sure,
Fair
anybody.
enough. I don't know. I think maybe I haven't read a Black Library book for a long time. I think if you're into the lore and everything, you kind of buy into that. I suppose it's a bit like when you read a Star Wars novel. If you're really into it, you get an extra level of enjoyment that if you're not that into it, you just don't get because you haven't got that affinity. So you're looking for something else in the story. I think that's mostly what it is.
Yeah, and it's not everything either by a long stretch, but there are definitely bits in there where, especially where they decide they want to try and actually reference in-game things.
Well, yeah.
And they start to talk about like they'll talk about their weapons or their attack or stuff like that. You're like, it's just a bit too nerdy. It's just a bit too far for my liking sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think even the term Chaos Space Marine, when it's referred to in a book, I think it's all right in a game because but it's like, oh yeah, he's a Chaos. I know they have Space Marine, but he's a Chaos Space Marine. I don't think any kind of real world kind of universe, if you like, would ever refer to something like that as oh yeah, Chaos Space Marine. They probably refer to it as oh my god, I'm getting out of here! Ah!
Or just call it something like a traitor or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they use like the squad names and stuff like that. It's a bit too much for it. I remember the worst thing though was there was a story about some Space Marines having a punch up with some Custodes, and there was a story in a White Dwarf. I think it was a White Dwarf, or it was up on their webpage or something. It was basically where some some Space Marines and some Custodians were going to a planet, and as they got there, they realised that the Space Marines' homeworld had been declared hereticus or whatever. They decided they'd been in league with Chaos and they needed to be destroyed. And then the Space Marines realised what's going on, and the Custodians are basically right. You've got to do what we say. Put your weapons down. You're under arrest till we work out what's going on here, kind of thing. And the Marines are like, we are the Emperor's finest. Blah blah blah. Who are you? Apart from the fact that you're even more finest than we are. And then there's a big punch up, and it was just like everything was. This person reacted, but the other person was even faster. And then this person did this, but the other person was even faster. Like, can you not describe this in any other way other than just he was fast and the other person was even faster than that? Got quite dull quite quickly. It's like, we get it. They're all really fast. We don't have a, we don't have any way to measure how fast either person was, but they're both really fast. Can we move on from this point now? Fasterer, yes, Anthony. Fasterist. Just all bits of it.
Sometimes you feel like they're just one piece of description away from saying, "Oh yeah, he rolled a 2+."
Yeah, it does really feel like that sometimes. He launched a blistering attack with his double-handed sword, but the other guy rolled a 6 and saved it.
Exactly, yeah. Also, I find their description, generally speaking, just incredibly overwrought with words that you didn't need to use. So that was my main consideration. It was just like, so their writing style is swallowed a thesaurus.
Yeah, it's very over the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everything's got to be, and I know that's kind of, part of the thing. It's part of their shtick is everything's over the top. But sometimes, like, can it not just be like just a big thing, or just there and just impressive? But it has to be like planet. Everything's planet ending almost. Kind of feels like.
Have we seen any cards yet for the Ossiarch Bone Reapers Warband? No, I don't think there have been any yet.
No, I don't think so.
No. Intrigued to see those.
Sorry?
I'm intrigued to see those, but I think probably...
Well, we had seen some bits. They had previewed a couple of bits, hadn't they? Because we know the big guy's got like they've got that ability, which is something to do with reaping or taking, gaining tokens for something.
Yes, I can't remember. I don't think there's any actual cards. I think that's the fighter card. So it's the card bits. I guess the next reveal will be for this new silent but deadly pack.
Which will be all new cards, not re-releases.
Yeah.
Which will make a nice change.
So I'd be interested. I don't know whether they'll spoil those, and they might do. But they didn't spoil. There was something. Did they not spoil all the cards in the Essentials pack? I don't think they did. I think they were waiting for people like Aman to spoil.
I thought they did. I thought they did eventually release them.
I don't think they did them all. I think they just did some.
Well, maybe.
I can't remember now. But so it may be that they don't spoil those, and that they have to wait till they're. I think there'll be an article today. Whether it'll have all of the cards in it or not, I don't know.
I mean, this is all stuff from the silent people, isn't it? So there'll be hopefully some more of these silent people relic things, whatever they were called.
And would think there won't be a lot to say. What, a massive deja vu?
Oh, very good, very good.
Oh, bizarre.
What was the deja vu about?
It's just me talking to you on camera, painting this guy.
I'm sure we've done this before.
I feel like I've done it before. I mean, I know I could do it last week, but that particular bit of painting rather than just this model.
Well, if the Matrix has told us anything, that means that there's an agent nearby.
Ah, well, there's a window cleaner.
Oh, he could be the agent.
Yeah.
I rewatched The Matrix at the weekend. It's one of those moments where I was just like, I've got to do the ironing, so I've got like 2 hours of sitting here doing the ironing. I need to watch something. I'll watch the Matrix again.
Any good? I haven't seen it for years.
It's not bad. It's done pretty well. The effects and stuff in it aren't too bad.
Well, it's still okay.
Yeah, I think mostly because when they did bullet time back then, they actually did proper. They actually had a camera, and they. It wasn't CGI, so it doesn't look rubbish now.
Yeah.
I remember watching a documentary on how they did it, and it was mental.
Right.
Because they actually literally would set the actors up on cables and stuff, and then they would have a camera on like a high speed zip line that would go round them. So they would literally just get them to jump in the air, and then fire the camera around and grab all the shot.
Wow.
Matt's in work. Don't tell anyone. Matt's boss. Matt's in work. It's where something really random happens, and then you just get a comment and I go, Matt, what are you doing on here? Where's my report? In a sort of real Skinner kind of moment. But yeah, I think the only problem is the first film. They should have ended it on the first film. It ended at the right point. The second and third films were quite bad in comparison.
I haven't seen the third one. I've only seen the first one. I assume that they had to do the other two because the first one was really popular and it was going to make lots of money.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much in a nutshell why they did it. It was just.
I remember going to see the second one, being quite excited for it. I think I might have even gone to see it the day it came out. Being quite excited for it and just coming out and going, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did. I don't think I went to see it in the cinema, but I must have done. I must have gone to see it in the cinema. I remember afterwards just thinking, well, I'm not even going to watch the third one now.
I've never seen the third one.
No, neither have I.
Nothing about the second one has made me want to think, oh, I've got to go sit through that again. Are they making a new one? I feel like I've read they're making a new one.
God, I hope not. I think we've discussed this before on the channel, but I am absolutely sick to death of remakes. Like, do something new.
Yeah.
Barry says he loves how people are going absolutely ape for the crab. I like the little multiple animal references there. The people are going ape for the crab because it's the dogs. I do quite like their crab. I can see them ending up sort of bringing out all the details for it just being rubbish.
Yeah. That won't stop people playing him though, which is the great thing about Underworld. He's actually coming on alright, I think. Not too bad.
I can't remember what the name of that guy is.
I missed a bit. Which guy?
The guy you're painting. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember what he's called. I'm afraid.
You're gonna have to, people watching this who are looking forward to the Godtear stuff. You're gonna get a lot of that to start with.
Yeah. Who's this? Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna move this guy to here, I guess. I don't know. What's the matter? I need to brush up. I need to read the rules because you've left me a box, haven't you?
Yes.
I need to look at the rules on that one.
Hopefully with some rules in. Right. I've got about 10 minutes left. I think I'm going to leave him for the moment.
That's where we find that the rules are different in each, and you can't mix the two warbands.
No, I'm pretty sure you can. And I'm going to carry on painting some leaves. I've got my little Jeepers Creepers here.
Ooh.
So I'm going to just... These have been almost exclusively dry brushed. Because I'm not that bothered about how they end up looking. I don't think they're going to feature heavily on the channel, as I said last week.
Isn't it?
Yeah, well, Lady Harrows haven't.
True.
I think I'm even less into these than I am Lady Harrow, but that may just because I haven't really looked. It's like I don't know.
You feel like Lady Harrow's one of those warbands that we've maybe ignored and we shouldn't.
I think partly I haven't played Lady Harrows because they look really complicated. I have enjoyed the games I played with them, but I just know that I'll forget every third reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Lady Harrows, which is someone who makes tech you can push her a hex. It's just so disconnected from the rest of it.
And so, as much as I like feedback on the videos, being told that we forgot reactions every week gets a bit boring.
Over and over and over again. But they did feature in our season 2 finale. They were pretty cool.
They did, didn't you win?
Sorry?
Didn't you win?
Didn't I win?
Oh no, I see. Sorry, you
Season
mean...
2.
Sorry, I was thinking of... when
Season 1 finale.
We played a game with them towards the end of the actual Nightbolt season.
Oh, I see.
I thought yes, they did. They were in our Patreon league. Yes, you're right. Sorry, that was me being dim. Yeah, but they're a good warband. So Warband, not if you roll like RG roll or Warhouse, even roll, but
So I'm
yeah.
just catching up with the comments. Matt Collins says Matrix 4 is in the works, so oh good.
Okay.
Maury says unpopular opinion, Matrix is the greatest of all time sci-fi movies. Well, I like the first one. Greatest of all time, I'm not sure, but I certainly wouldn't say the second or third ones are.
No, the first movie is good.
Yeah. It had quite a new angle to it that I don't think people had explored before in films and stuff like that either. And it was just overall. I mean, one problem I had with it, and this is my old man rant, is the audio levels were terrible. There'd be whisper, 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 bang, crash, bang, crash. Just did my head in. Maury says the Idneth are actually were crabs. Or were crabs. Are they were or were? Matt says you take all the armour off and it's just crabs on top of crabs. It's crabs all the way down.
I like it. It sounds painful though.
Does a little bit. The experiences I've had of crabs, I've not been fond of them. Lots of crab jokes will be coming out.
Yeah. Yes. That'll be a staple of our travel reports.
They will certainly help us out of an awkward silence in a pinch.
I can't get mollusk or crustacean.
Well, if we play Idneth versus Mob, we can always have mollusk versus Mob, mollusk versus mollusk.
I like it.
We'll have to see if they'll, in general, if the warband will fall behind or whether they can carapace with everything else.
Jesus. I suddenly realise I'm busy in May.
Which days? All of it.
All of it. Yeah.
All of May. And June, as it turns out.
Indeed. I'm going to be a hermit, if you will.
Hey! To the...
John Grant says you're floundering. Flood tide moves in a charge. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wrath of Khan is epic and creepy with earworms. Do you know what?
Earworms, I forgot about those.
I've never seen Wrath of Khan.
That film gave me, I wouldn't say nightmares, but I definitely have memories of watching the earworm scene and not being impressed as a child.
I am one of those unfortunate people, I don't know there are many of us in the world, who went to see, and my dad took me after because we really enjoy Star Wars. My dad took me to see Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which, I don't know if you've ever seen it, is god awful.
I don't think I have seen that.
So we didn't go to see Wrath of Khan, which then got good reviews. So we did then go and see Search for Spock, which is god awful. And I've never ever recovered. I have seen a couple of other Star Trek, but I think I've seen a couple. I've seen the new reboot one, and I saw the First Contact, but I've never seen Wrath of Khan. I just can't bring myself to do it.
Come on! It's you've had the worst luck then going to watch films.
Well, yeah, it's certainly Star Trek films.
Yeah, well, yeah. Tell you what, painting this guy, he's fucking awful to paint.
Wrath of Khan is excellent. Yeah, I've heard, but I just can't. I can't do it now. And also, I don't think it will be as good as everybody says it is because it's from a time and
yeah, especially now. Yeah,
most of the people who enjoyed it watched it when they were younger, and I just think I'll watch it now and just be like, well, this is still pretty bad. It's not like William Shatner's a good actor.
How dare you?
I actually suggested that we could play it Under the Sea from Little Mermaid when we moved the crab. Well, we could do. We'd have to sing it. Play it. We'd have to give Disney our money.
Yeah, if we play it, Disney will be down us like a ton of bricks.
Yeah. But yeah, we could sing it. Although I don't know if I know the words.
Sadly enough, I think I probably do know all the words. But some of them are quite questionable.
Are they?
Yeah. Plus, I'm not sure how good it is having that crab these days around. I don't think the crab's very PC in the grand scheme of things.
I don't think I have seen it, but it was a long time ago.
The crab's very probably a similar issue to the lady in Tom and Jerry, shall we say?
I see. Okay.
I mean, at least it was voiced by a
Right, I see.
black actor, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's very, very typical of that period kind of thing.
It's got a touch of the Jar Jars about it, hasn't it?
Little bit, I think. And everybody hates Jar Jar.
Submarine film in space, Kyle Shatner is excellent in it. Okay, fair enough. Well, maybe I'll watch it. No, I won't.
Let's not lie. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not going to happen.
There's 2, 4, 6, and 8 are the best of Trek. Yes, I've heard this. I've heard you only want to watch the even numbers of Star Trek films. Unfortunately, I've seen 1 and 3. I haven't seen 5, which I could be thankful for.
I'm not sure how, once again, we are most of the way through an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this happens. I mean, I'm not doing badly, but then I'm doing the easy stuff at the minute. I'm just whacking down base coats.
I'm just doing a little bit of dry brushing over my bases now.
Trying to paint the bits of this vampire that I can't reach once he's stuck to the base, so I can stick him back to the base, because at the minute I can't hold him properly.
Right. Yeah. The problem with doing a lot of dry brushing is eventually it becomes impossible without getting it on things you've already painted.
Other areas you've already dry brushed.
Yeah.
So it just becomes a rainbow of colour of dry brushing.
Here it's not too bad because it's kind of weathering. So if the orange bits end up a bit green or the concrete ends up a bit green, it's okay.
He says don't ever watch Hot 5 unless you want to watch a weird story about meeting God.
Yeah, I've heard 5 is not good.
And Matt has beautifully summarised it. I'll add it to the list, or rather, I never watch movies on the list.
Yeah.
But, well, it's on the list. It's never going to get watched, whether it's deliberate or not. Not necessarily through choice. It's just not going to happen.
I very, very rarely watch films nowadays.
Yeah, I barely do either.
Very little time to sit and watch a whole film. I did watch Black Panther recently over 2 nights.
I didn't mind Black Panther. It had Gollum in it, which is always nice.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
And yeah. Well, I guess that's it for us. We've hit the hour.
Wow. I think you've probably got a meeting or something to go to.
Yeah, I do very soon. Unfortunately, this is the other problem with doing this. I can't just keep going with this. I've done all right so far. I've mostly done red. I've done a lot of red today.
Right, I've managed to base coat this guy, and so he would do now. We put him on the table, I think.
I reckon so.
He needs a bit more work, but he would do if we had to put him on the table. So probably need to present with the base, but there's a few more of those to do. And then I've been painting my leaves, my rather drab, whatever these are called, creepers.
Jeepers,
I think we're going to record a starter set game shortly when we're back in the garage. When they will next see you play, I don't know. So we'll see.
Well, I like them, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of law of averages now anyway. There are just so many warbands now that it's very hard to play all of them, even if we wanted to.
I mean, there's, 30, 34 now? Something like that?
Yeah, and so even if we want to play them all, we can't.
Yeah,
Can't.
it's just impossible. Well, unless we do some kind of Kickstarter thing, pay us to be able to take a month off of work and whatnot, and then we'll just play games all day, just stream games.
Might need to put it in a different way.
But that's what it boils down to, basically.
Yeah.
Pay us money and we'll stream stuff.
Yeah. That would be good. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yep. Unfortunately, because of that probably means that neither would anybody else. Therefore, very unlikely to get any kind of money from people. But we have our patrons, and that's enough for me.
Exactly. Well enough.
So there we go. I think
Lovely.
it's time to say thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll let you know whether we're going to carry on with these. I'll try and bribe Pete, keep going. But we'll try and keep going in some way, shape, or form as time passes.
As time goes on. Yeah, so stay safe, everybody out there, and yeah, hopefully we'll be at the end of lockdown soon, and we'll be able to just get back in the garage.
So it should be just over a week.
Woohoo!
Okay, thanks
We'll
everyone.
see you soon in the Mirrored City. No, not the Mirrored City. Well, I'm talking about Mirrored City. We haven't been there for ages. In the dire chasms.
I guess they're still in the beast grade. Like the Mirror City is.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I guess it's still the beast grade. But anyway, we'll see you there. I think
We'll
it's
see you
beast grade
somewhere.
longer.
See you on the tabletop.
Bye.
Bye.